everybody. Welcome to December's feature review. We are excited to jump in. We just got started, so we're going to give everybody a moment or two. I see people hopping in right now. So go ahead and grab your coffee. I still have my coffee. Go ahead and grab your something to drink, grab a notepad or whatever. We're going to give it just 1 or 2 minutes before we get started. We'll see you soon. Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to give just another minute or two for people to join us. We're about to get started. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to throw them into Q&A. Feel free to throw them into chat. We get going. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to our product webinar for the month of December. We have kind of a shorter feature review for this month because there's just so much with the holidays. So it's a little bit shorter, but it was a great opportunity because towards at the end of the call today, we are going to do a 2025 year in review. So everything that we have, not everything actually, we can't do everything, but a lot of the things that we've released over the past year, thanks to our customers. So we're going to do a 2025 year in review at the end of this. For today, we are going to be, it's just me. We got Brooklyn with us here today. Be sure while we're talking, feel free to throw anything into the Q&A section. We can kind of answer those as we go, or maybe pull those at the end. Feel free to do that. After our call today or tomorrow, you're going to get an email with the recording of the call. So even if you weren't able to join today, or if you want to go back or you want to share this with your team, anything like that, feel free to use that link. It's posted on YouTube. You can even find it just on YouTube. After the meeting, we uploaded. So if you see a feature while we're talking of something that you really like, be sure to let us know. If you think of something that you would love to see built in the system, be sure that you're submitting those. We're going to kind of talk about that today when we're talking about the year in review of everything that we've built and insights that we've gotten from customers. So be sure to do that one. All right. I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to start actually just in a workroom of an event for a couple of the features that we have built out. So I'm going to go down here. We're going to go into this Union Station wedding. This is one of our newer events that we have built out. Okay. If I go in here, one of the new features that was released is this navigation bar on the left-hand side. Now, I'm sure everybody has seen this come to pass. This is thanks to a lot of feedback from customers about how they want to access that data, making stuff that is more accessible. So thank you for all of the customers who've given feedback about that, things that have helped us know what is the next step that best needs to be built there. So you can quickly navigate within the workroom. If you have rentals, if you have staffing, those are two add-ons that you can add on to your account. You're going to see those listed there. But these are just quick ways to jump between different pieces of the workroom, different pieces of managing different parts of your proposal. Something that a lot of people really like down here, though, is the quick access. You can do the overview tab. We'll slide this out over here. You can still click that overview button, but it's a quick way. If you want to jump right into the inquiries, any inquiries that have come in for this event, you can see those there. If you want to go right into portal messages, so messages maybe back and forth between you and your customer, that's going to be there. Um, this is actually a new one. So this is another feature that we're talking about today, this order breakdown. So I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. The other one is event prints. So maybe you're in an event and you want to jump straight to that print to check it out. You can just jump right over to event prints. That's here. And if you want to go back to that event, I'm just going to click backspace so I can go right back into that workroom. But it's a quick way to jump into your event prints straight from here. Some quick actions are just building a shopping list for this event, quickly downloading the PDF, which you can also do up here, sharing it, which you can also do up here, or previewing it, which you can also do it up here. So it kind of just builds like a central place for which you can always go over here to click to kind of get wherever you need. That's going to be over here. The other thing that I did want to talk about is going to be the order breakdown. So I'm going to click on that order breakdown right here. If you come from Curate Classic, if you started on Curate Classic, you might be kind of familiar with this breakdown. It's a similar structure than what we had on Curate Classic. What this does is it will break down your pricing, your profitability for all of these items. As long as you're using recipes on the back end or an assigned cost on the back end, if you're saying, I know this costs me this much to make it, it will tell you profitability for that event. So it'll say, this is how much it costs me to make. So this is how much I'm profiting for this event. You can scroll down, you can see it based on the line items. You can see it based on the line item categories. So it's just showing me the cost for all of those, as well as the component categories. So if you're using components on the back end, this will tell you the cost for those. If you have staffing, it will also show you like the staffing breakdown as well. This does do like a pop out right here within the event, but you can print from here. So I'm just going to print using my browser. I right clicked or tapped with two buttons. I'm on a Mac. And if I go down here to print, it creates a really nice print for this one. Well, I just did this a minute ago. So I must have done something wrong here. But yeah, you just right click and you can click print, and that will pull up that print that you can print off for you, for your team, if you want to print it. The nice thing is that it keeps you in that workroom whenever you're clicking on that so that it will pop up right there. So that's going to be a new one, is that order breakdown. Another update that we made, and this again is thanks to customer feedback about this. If I go into the images right here, you can crop images. So maybe I have this image of the full haul right here and I want to adjust it. You can crop that right here within Curate. So maybe I want to do more of a central focus, cut off some of those tables or something on the back end there. See how I'm showing less tables and more focusing on the window over here. Okay. Now I can save that right here within the proposal right here. In the past, it would use that as your starting place, and then you would recrop it, recrop it, recrop it. Now it allows you to start again from the whole picture, so you can just adjust. All right, so maybe I want to get this piece over here, focus on that piece over there, that little section. It allows you to, instead of having like that eternal crop, you're able to refocus, like have the big picture again from the beginning and recrop from there. So it's a nice update. Thanks to our customers for pointing that out for so that we can find a better way to manage that experience that's there. All right. Last thing that I'm going to show off here in the workroom is, I guess I can go right back over there. If I want to go here and I want to replace this image, we now have something called like a pinned photo. So say that I want to replace that image. Let me find something to put in there. Hmm, you know, maybe we'll get a shot of the food or something. I'm going to do this one. I can put that in that image box right there. I can show that off. But then if I go back, I'm going to go back and replace image. You'll be able to see photos that have been pinned in here. So there it is. There's my last used photo. So say that you're quickly moving between spaces and you need to keep using that same image in a couple of different places. It'll have that last used image. It just pulls it from where it was, puts it right here at the top, and then if you use something else, it's going to replace that and have that up there at the top. So we've gotten feedback that sometimes people have one photo that they're kind of using regularly throughout the proposal. This makes that easy. Say that you're building out different line items with the same image of something. You can continue to use that one. It just makes it easy for you to add in there. Okay. All right. I'm going to pass this off to Brooklyn. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Hey everyone. Yeah, thanks, Shannon. Let me share and then we'll dive into, we're going to start off with some prints. So let me share. Alrighty. So the very first thing that we're going to cover is a update around what we're referring to as a quick print. So this is going to be a quick print on purchase orders. So to access a purchase order, you would go to your game plan, and then we're going to go to the purchase orders tab. And then these are all just samples I have. So I'm just going to click into this order here. And so, what this update is that we don't necessarily have like a true print button, but we got lots of feedback that folks like to print their purchase orders to have a physical copy rather than, downloading it or emailing it. They want to have kind of a quick sheet to check or make notes on as they do handoffs and to, highlight. And so, folks were actually just clicking to print. So, on my mouse pad, I'm just clicking to kind of have this little menu pop up. I'm also on a Mac, so you can also do a Command P, and that will get the print. I think there's probably a similar keyboard shortcut if you're on like a Windows. But essentially, this is going to just be the print preview, and you'll see that it's now nice, clean print. Prior, it was trying to print the entire page with like the panel. It was kind of smushing some of the data. So we did some cleanup to allow this to be a nice visible print. So hope everyone loves the printing of the purchase order here. Another one that kind of goes alongside this was we had a lot of requests for folks wanting to print inquiries. So we're going to go into our inquiries tab, go to all inquiries, and then I'm just going to click into an inquiry sample. And here it's the same thing. We had folks request in that they wanted a hard copy. Maybe your lead is coming in to do like an in-person consultation, or you just want to have their questionnaire printed out while you're doing a phone consultation with them to reference. So this is a thing that you can access as well. Same process. You can do Command P or click to print, and it's going to be a nice, clean, printable version of the inquiry itself with all their answers. So yeah, just two updates there around printing and being able to access those. So just remember, you can print it, although there's not a technical print button. Just click to print or use a keyboard shortcut to access the print, and then you can have hard copies of both your purchase orders or your inquiry questionnaires. And then the next item that we're going to cover is an actual event print. So what we actually call an event print. So let me click into, let me actually just double check to make sure. This is going to be tied around guest count. Okay, so this one does have a guest count. Guest count is optional. So we're going to click into the event print here for Jesse and Sam. And then this is an update that was made, again, based off feedback. Folks were wanting to have this as an input to show the guest count of an event. So it's not on by default because, again, it's an optional input and not everyone, might not want it. But if you do want to include it, you would go to event details over on the side, expand down this menu, And then you'll see that we now have a guest count that you can check on. And then once that's checked on, you'll see the guest count is up here at the top among your other event details. So if that's something that you like to include, just another kind of plug to some other prints, you can save that. So if a guest count is always something that you want on your prints, remember that you can customize print types. So if this is something you always want to have, you would be able to save this as a print type, and then it'll save this configuration of your selected fields. And then you would be able to kind of generate this every time you come in. You would be able to see your custom print types down here and then just click into that, whatever you name it. So just another update around some prints. All right, we're going to move away from some prints now, and we're going to go into reports. Um, this report update in particular is on the payments due report. So you would want to go here to your different report types. We're going to find the payments due report, and then I'm just going to generate it. Of course, you can filter and add in dates and things like that. But since this is our sample account, I don't really quite know where things are landing. So we're going to just generate everything. But this enhancement to the payments due report is adding a description column. And so this description is actually coming directly from your payment schedule on your event. So when you create an event and you're adding a payment, you can actually add a description. It will default to just say payment, but you have the ability to go in and actually, add any clarifying text to that. So a lot of times we see folks, they might label that as a final payment, maybe a non-refundable deposit, maybe retainer, 20%, deposit, whatever that might look like, final payment 1 month before the event. So you have lots of options, but really this column is just to add some clarity as you're kind of pulling this report to see what payments are due, maybe in the time frame that you're generating. You can have clarity on kind of what those payments actually are for. So just know that you now have a description column on this report.
Yeah, I would say like along with that one, just for us to kind of give a nod towards that, you can make a payment template. So if you have a certain structure that you follow for your payments, in the payment templates, in the templates, you can have different payment templates where you have certain names laid out there. That is the word that is coming in there. So if you want that, like we talked about non-refundable deposit, sometimes people want it to say second payment, third payment, final payment. You can put those different descriptors in there. And so if you have it in a template already, it makes it really easy for pulling it into that proposal, so that it automatically is going to have the right verbiage. So if you're looking at this, if that you're looking at that report, you can just easily see what is showing there, which payment that is that they have upcoming.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. Yeah, definitely lean into using templates.
Yeah,
Shannon said it'll take a lot of kind of that manual work, if, especially
yeah,
if you have a structure that your business typically uses with a payment schedule. You can go ahead and just kind of add that verbiage into the template, and then you'll be able to add that description here. So,
yeah.
yeah, if you want to set up those payment templates, you would just go to your templates folder, payments, and then
Hmm.
you can, of course, create them, or you can explore templates if you want to get some inspiration. We have some pre-made templates that you can go in and still edit, but it'll kind of give you some guidelines on maybe what you'd want to set up. So, yeah, definitely use that, and then that'll cross over into your report now when you pull the payments due.
Yeah.
And then the last and final thing I'm going to show before handing it back to Shannon is kind of a minor improvement, but definitely was a request, and we could see why, because it ties along closely with the duplicating of events, which we know a lot of our customers like to do. And so this is actually pulling from the event details slide out. This was an improvement to the actual customer field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate an event. So we have Mackenzie's retro wedding, and I'm going to duplicate this. And so when I do so, the slide out appears, and it's kind of our new event slide out that we can go in and edit these details. But we got a lot of feedback that, teams or folks that companies that use Curate that have, several employees that are kind of managing these events. It wasn't entirely clear that the customer could be changed out, because when you clicked on it, it would just kind of pop down with the current customer. So we made some improvements here. So when you go to duplicate and then you go down to the customer input and then you click here, it'll actually go right into an edit mode. So you can then switch out and search from your contacts of who you'd like to, replace this with. Or if they're an entirely new customer that you've never worked with before, you can still go through the process of adding that new contact into the input. So just something to note, if you change your mind and you didn't mean to change the contact, don't worry, it doesn't erase it. You just click away from it and it'll load back into the original customer. But it's just to kind of help give some extra guidance there, and not create any type of confusion. Alrighty, that covers it for me. So I'm going to pass it back to Shannon and she's going to cover some highlights of the last year. It's been a great year.
Okay. Yes, so I feel like every month we're always like, we don't have enough time to talk about everything that there is to talk about. It really feels like every single month we struggle to get it all within this time frame. I don't know if you've been joining every month it just grows and grows and grows. We have more and more people that are joining these calls. And in the beginning, we did this as a 30-minute call, and we quickly realized we could not actually show everything that was being built in a 30-minute time frame. So we had to bump it up to 45 minutes. And sometimes it's still a struggle to get everything in. This past month, we've been doing a lot of foundational work, stuff that's not really customer facing just yet. It will be customer facing, but we've been working on a lot of those things. So this month was a little thinner on features that we would show off. However, it was a great opportunity for us to pull together our 2025 year in review and kind of talk through those things, all of the stuff that has been built, developed, and released over this past year. And when we're kind of looking back at it, Brooklyn is really on the product side. So she is directly connected to all of the stuff that's here. But even for me, if I'm looking back to it, I'm thinking, wow, it is crazy how much you can do in 1 year, how much stuff that we have built. So we put this together for our 2025 year in review. Not every feature is listed here, but there are a lot listed in here. So we're going to kind of talk through a couple of these. We're not actually going to look at them in the system. All of these we have reviewed sometimes multiple times, but I would just grab a piece of paper or throw it on, get a notepad or something, because I may say something that you think I want to go back and check into that. I want to know more about that feature, see how I can use that feature or revisit that feature. So maybe grab a notepad, get your computer ready to take notes on your computer or something like that if you want to take a look at that. Okay. So we're going to dive in. So welcome to our 2025 year in review. We're going to start with the numbers. Two big numbers that we came from was over 2025 so far. We're not done with December yet. There's more left in December, but we have released 358 separate features over this year. That's more than one brand new feature every single day. This is unheard of for a software company. It is incredible. I mean, our team has really brought it this year. It seems like every year we're getting better and better, but they've really brought it in really developing, refining, working on those features and getting them released for our customers. It's incredible. The second one, 1304, this is the number of customer insights created in 2025. This means this is people giving us their feedback about what they would love to see in the system. So actually, this 1304 directly impacts this 358. That is what helps make this kind of number come to pass. People telling us exactly what would help them, what would be beneficial for their business, giving us their feedback of what they would like to see in the system, giving that insight. And I will say this number can be a little deceiving because that's not individual, that's not like one insight. A lot of these 1304 is maybe five different insights that one customer gave us. So this actually represents a lot more feedback than even that number shows. So thanks to you, thanks to our customer base for actually us telling us what they want so that we can work towards that goal of building out something that would be really beneficial and making Curate more and more effective. Okay. We've put these into a couple of different categories here just to kind of recap some of the features that are in the system. So we're going to talk about financial and operational tools. Here's some big ones, not even everything, but some big ones. Number one, Curate payments. We released Curate payments this year, helping you pass that card fee along to your customer and not having to deal with that fee at all on the accounting side. In Curate Classic or even in other softwares, a lot of times you do get the money for that fee, so then you have to account for that fee. With the new setup with Curate Payments, it allows you to pass that card fee along to your customer. You don't have to deal with the accounting side, and customers can pay via ACH, which is something that curators have been asking for that for years and years and years. And we were finally able to bring that to pass this year. This year, we also released gratuity, allowing customers to leave you gratuity. They can choose an amount that you set or just type in a number of whatever they want to leave for you. A lot of times, what I hear on gratuity, people tell us that even if they don't leave it in the system, it's letting your customer know that you are open to gratuity and you're getting more cash in hand at the time of the event. Tax profiles, another one. This is helpful if you have different tax rates on different line items. So we were finally able to release this to make complicated things simpler for our customers. Our automation engine, I don't even think that's what we officially call it. Brooklyn's probably like, what are you telling people? But I call it our automation engine, where you can set up your own automations in the system. You can say, when this happens, I want this to happen. So when they sign the contract, that's when I want them to move to booked. Or whenever they pay, that's whenever I want them to move to booked. Or whenever they move to completed, I trigger a thank you email to my customer. All of these things that you can do with automations in the system. So much that you can do there. We also have built and released a bulk import tool. So this is really helpful if you have a bunch of things that you just want to upload into the system, a bunch of components, a bunch of rentals, a bunch of products that you can do in mass, even at your fingertips. In the past, you always had to wait on us, but no longer. You also freely have the ability to download your catalog, to download your contacts list, download your products, download your rentals right from within the system. You don't have to make that request to our team. You can do that within your own account in Curate. All right. The next one is event creation and management. New features around that one. Ooh, this is a big one. Moved to the event overview slide out. I don't know if many of you remember, but towards the beginning of this year, you actually had to go through another page before you actually went into the proposal. This may be, some of you may have blocked it out of your brain. We got so much feedback about that, how people didn't want to go through the hallway into the workroom. And we agreed. We agreed. So, because of your feedback, we found a better way to manage that. So now we have the event overview slide out where you can maintain and manage all that information instead of going through that hallway to get into the workroom. The other one is giving you the ability to just pull in a venue to preload location information that also gets sent over to Google Calendar. Event notes, private event notes for you and for your team so that you can leave a message about something. It's going to have your name and a date and a timestamp on there. So helpful for managing your events, especially when you have multiple team members. Branches is another one where you can have multiple locations all managed within the same event, or multiple businesses all within the same system. So you're not having to switch between different accounts. Now you can do staffing within the system. You can pull in different roles. You can put their time span that they need to be working, get calculations for whatever they need to be charged. And that affects almost everything in the system. You can pull staffing sheets, all so much stuff that you can do with staffing. Bookable spaces. This is another add-on. The big reason why people love bookable spaces, this is usually for people like venues or people that have multiple spaces. The big thing that people love about this is you can have on your calendar and you can see all of your different spaces and exactly what their time is that they're going to be booked in one day. It really is incredible. It is a great way to manage your events. We also have form customization. If you come from Curate Classic, you knew there was nothing that you could do with that form. In the updated system, you can make it more brand specific. Another one is merging form information into your events. So if you get a form submission, you can put it into an event that you've already created. All right. Tell us too if there's any of these that I say and you're like, oh yes, that's a big deal for me. Let us know. We want to know that too. Put it in the chat or something like that. Moving on to line items, components, and catalog tools. Import from catalog. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite features in the updated interface, that little button that says import from catalog. You can do it on the you can do it for a line item, you can do it in your components, in your recipes, you can pull those in. I also love that if you've used a component in that event, it is now persists at the top of that list. So it makes it easy for you to pull in the items that you want because you know, already know what you're using on that event. The component view is new. It's a great way that you can go in and you can see the breakdown of all of your events that are in that are in the all of your components that are in that event, that particular event. Linked quantities, that's another one. If you like to use guest count and that determines the quantity of a line item, if you want to put, I was working with someone the other day and they asked in there, how many bridesmaids, how many groomsmen, how many tables? They're asking those sorts of questions. You can link that directly into a template so that whenever you convert it, it's already going to be there. Undo button. Who has not used this? The component undo button. This is unheard of. This never even existed in Curate Classic. But if you delete a component, you have like 5 seconds that you can say, oh no, that's not what I meant to do. You can undo it, reverse that change, and bring it back. Internal line items, that is a huge one as well. You have the ability to move something to be something that only you and your team see, and that, but it will show up on your prints. It's not for your customer facing, it's to help manage you and your team. It's for things like ladders or carts or whatever that you need to be sure that you have. And then another one is tokens in your headers or your subtitles just makes it easier for building new events. You know, taking the data that you're already entering it and putting it in several different places that it applies. Okay. This feels like a lot, but this is like not even a quarter of the real list. These are just the main things that we pulled out that we've really built over this year. It's wild how much we've developed over this year. The next one, we're going to talk quickly about proposals, shopping lists, and some client-facing tools. In those, I would say add or remove events to the shopping list. In Curate Classic, if you had a shopping list already built out and you wanted to add another event, you had to build a brand new shopping list. In the updated interface, you can just choose what event you want to add or remove from that shopping list. Such an incredible functionality. The other one is the ability to edit your line items directly within the portal. That was a common pain point towards the beginning of this year where people wanted to see it. They made a mistake on spelling. They want to click into that line item and fix that change right there. Now you can do that. Just click on that pencil button. You're able to make those changes directly instead of having to go back to the orders page or the recipes page. The other one, sharing the link without pricing. You may want to share this with a vendor that another vendor where they don't really need to see the pricing. They just need to see what you're going to do. You have that ability to share the link without pricing. Another funny story for that one that I heard years and years and years ago, and I was like, this is so true. We had customers tell us that the dad is paying and they want the link without pricing for the bride because dad does not want the bride to see the cost of that event. Whatever she wants, she gets. I was like, I need that, dad. I need that, dad. But they're sharing a link without pricing. I just get to choose whatever I want. But that's one use case. Other one is shareable templates. So we now have the ability, this kind of goes back to what Brooklyn was showing earlier, where we have a core group of templates. You can even choose to share your own templates. If you've built out a really great email, follow-up email, you can choose to share that and that being open to other people to see and utilize in that template section. It makes it really easy for building out things. It's more of like a community. You're able to take advantage of what other people have done in the system. You also have the ability to add extra containers in your proposal so you can customize that proposal to be what you want it to be. Some big ones this year is the single image container. If you want to build out something, do a mock-up like in Canva or something like that, you can just pull that out as a single image and put that right into your proposal. The text container is so simple, but honestly, my favorite container. There is so much that you can do with that container. I love that container. And also the fact that you can do an additional inspiration board, as many inspiration boards as you want in one proposal. It allows you to really customize your proposals for your customers. Okay, almost there. We're going to move on to rentals. Some big releases with rentals this year. You had the ability to add rentals directly as a line item, so they didn't just have to go into the recipe. They could actually go onto the rental, onto the as a line item on that page. The other one is changing the rental range. So where you can say instead of just one day, all right, I know I've got this table, but I need at least one day before and one day after. Now you have that capability to say, this is a multi-day rental. I need it to be for 3 days, and you can change it on an event by event basis, how long you need that to be booked out for. The other one that is a really big deal, again, this is a new feature to the updated system, was not possible in Curate Classic. You can put a location on your rentals. So if you want to say that this is in Bay 3, Walkway 2, Shelf 3, whatever it may be for you, you can put that location associated with that rental. So whenever you're pulling out that print to hand to your warehouse team or hand to your husband to go get out of the basement, it can already have a location on there that makes your job way easier, way faster, saves time, and time is money. You're saving all of that. The other one is the rentals range report. So this was released in the updated interface. You can look ahead and see what are all of the events that I have this booked for, have rentals booked for, but you can also look in the past. So if you want to look over it, you're doing like your own 2025 year in review, you could do your rentals range report for 2025 and say, what rentals did I actually use in 2025 so that you can get rid of the stuff that's not getting booked. You may not want to keep everything in your account that's not even getting booked. Get it out of the warehouse, save space. You can use that rentals range report in order to identify that. Okay. All right. Last grouping. Last one is navigation and other tools. So we've got our new navigation menu, the one that we talked about today was released last month. We were able to get that out. We also have AI Assist. So that's an add-on. It's kind of like having Chat GPT within your Curate account. You can ask questions or do things like that in there. And then we've also built a way to have an easy referral link right there within your account. I'll hop over there right now and just take a look. So you've got this easy referral link right here on yours. The really nice thing is whenever you give that link to somebody, they automatically get 20% off of their plan for the year. It actually is a really big deal to do that. So if you're sharing that link with people, if you know somebody that's interested in signing up for Curate, be a friend, give them this link so that they can get that 20% off whenever they sign up for Curate. That is really good. The nice thing for you, and this can turn into some nice Christmas money, you also get $500. So if somebody signs up using your link or referencing you, you get $500 from that as well. So it's kind of a win-win. They get 20% off and you get $500. So it's a super easy referral link right there. You just copy that link. If you share it on social media or you do a video about Curate or something like that, we have people that do those things. Feel free, share that so that people can know if you have other vendors that you work with. That's a great thing. So we just recently built that into the system. That's a new feature for 2025. Okay. Last thing we want to say is thank you, thank you, thank you for an amazing 2025. We had a wonderful year. Like I was saying, this might have been the biggest year for features released ever. One of the big benefits of us building this updated platform is we can build at a much greater scale than what we ever could in Curate Classic. So we want to say thank you. Thank you for giving your feedback. Thank you for helping us build the system that you need to support your business. And we're pumped. We're excited for what's ahead in 2026 this year. All right. Well, so what we're gonna do, we've got time. We've got a few minutes for some questions. So if you have any questions that you wanna throw them into chat, you're totally free to do that. Let me navigate back over here to Curate. I can answer any questions that you have. One thing I will say is we are continuing our monthly review in 2026. It will be Brooklyn and Jamie that will be doing our review. They're going to be taking over doing these webinars starting next month. So Brooklyn is amazing. She works so hard on the product side. She does such a great job of connecting what customers want and helping that come to life in the system. And Jamie is our head of customer support here at Curate. So he's the one that's really going to be assisting people in their accounts. So he's very acquainted with what customers want, everything that they need. Yeah, feel free to throw anything into the chat. I'll see we've got a couple that's coming through. Um, I'm going to put in here. Shia, you asked how many Curate team members. I think you said team members that you have. I don't know exactly how many have, but we're a small business. We consider ourselves a small business. We have about 20 people, and probably about half of that is development. The majority of people is development. Next is going to be customer success and support. So people that are doing training with people or helping with chat, things like that, building training materials. the other part of that, and then we've got marketing and sales, like a group for that. But biggest thing is development. We're mostly developers here at Curate. I'm not a developer, but many people are developers. Amy asked that she said, I just keep getting a message that says an update is available. Please reload now to get the latest version. Anytime that you see that, it's probably going to be on a Tuesday. We do updates on Tuesday morning, so you can always expect on Tuesday mornings, you're probably going to see that pop up come up just because we're going to do a release on that day and you just want to get a good fresh start on your browser. Something that I've been having this conversation with people lately, you can always just kind of like clean house with Curate by going over here to this, going to site settings, and then just clicking right here to delete data. All that does is clear the cookies just for Curate. So it just kind of gets rid of any baggage or anything that you maybe your system may have picked up, your browser may have picked up. So it just kind of clears that out and allows you to start fresh. You will have to relog into Curate, but that's not deleting your cache for everything. It's just deleting it for Curate so you don't have to relog into everything else. Just relog into Curate. So that's an easy way of kind of just clearing it all out if you are ever seeing anything, in the system, or maybe it's running a little slow or something like that. You can do that. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Shia. We appreciate you so much. You've done a great job in the system. I mean, we love helping our customers, truly. It goes both ways. You guys help us so much. We always want to help you guys so much. So okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope that you have a very lovely holiday season and you come back into work fully refreshed next year, kind of taking advantage of your slow season, maybe to build out work in your Curate count just a little bit more. Please let us know if you have any questions. We're going to send over the recording probably a little bit later today or tomorrow. So just keep an eye out for that. All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. See you next year.
Bye.